Executive orders can be issued to help officers and agencies of the executive branch manage the operations within the federal government itself.
Executive orders have the full force of law when they take authority from legislative power, which grants power directly to the executive by the Constitution.
If we were in office, the one executive order that we'd sign would be
1. Amending the US's policy on cybersecurity and internet surveillance.
Why do we think signing this executive order is important?
Firstly, to protect civil liberties.
Because of its conflict with the rule of law and to protect against potential persecution.
to ensure that national security isn't exploited wrongly.
This could have colossal ramifications on the security of our communications, and to put snooping powers on a statutory level demonstrates a blatant contempt for the British public and for its civil liberties. The UK government has an obligation and a duty to ensure that its bill is fit for purpose, transparent, and that an individual's free right to expression and privacy are not unduly confined in the name of security. The fact of the matter is that blanket surveillance is not compatible with our civil liberties, and government should be working to ensure that civil liberties are an essential foundation of counter-terrorism legislation rather than just an afterthought.
We believe we should pass an executive order limiting the US government's involvement in surveillance of online information and cybersecurity because of the rule of law and how this still applies to the government, and also to prevent potential persecution, especially with the presence of the divided political nature of America at the moment and of the political extremes of candidates like Trump and Cruz, and how they might utilise that information gained by surveillance to their own advantage.
Surveillance on the internet to a minimum would be to stop the government from exploiting the powers that that kind of charter would bring. If the government had such powers, they would be able to minimise any kind of minority groups' effect in the media or on the internet at all, and stop anyone that disagreed with them, which would kind of take away freedom of the press and the right to free speech. It wouldn't be fair on the minimal groups to be able to not express their opinion freely without being subdued by the government and their powers, which would be completely wrong.
Understandably be some criticism to our stance, most significantly the need for such a device to combat terrorism. The use of surveillance on communications has helped the FBI identify more than 900 ISIS suspects. The current ability to monitor threats to national security helps protect citizens and prevent repeats of large-scale terror attacks, such as those of Paris in November 2015 and 9/11. There are cases where its use would have had a positive effect where it used more effectively, such as the 2011 London riots. Cyber surveillance's efforts to help protect national security prevents a major case for its use.
Despite the argument that cybersecurity is necessary to protect national safety,
With the current situation involving terrorism and the previous uses of it during the London riots,
We still think signing this executive order would be important due to its protection of civil liberties.
And the fundamental rights of freedom and freedom of speech that has been fought for throughout history by all walks of life.